I kept getting handwritten notes slipped under my apartment door from a stranger, and when I discovered the truth behind them, it broke me completely. It started one Tuesday night. I had just come home from another exhausting day at work. Long hours, mindless meetings, the kind of day that leaves you hollow. I dropped my bag, kicked off my shoes, and that's when I noticed it. A folded piece of paper, lying just inside my door as though someone had slid it under while I was gone. The handwriting was shaky, almost trembling across the page. Just 4 words: I'm proud of you. I stood there, confused. Who would write this? I didn't know anyone in this building. I had just moved here a few weeks ago, still half unpacked, still eating instant noodles most nights because I hadn't found the energy to actually settle in. My first thought was that it was a mistake, maybe meant for someone else. My second thought was that it was some kind of prank. I crumpled it and tossed it aside. But the next evening, when I pushed open my door, there was another one. This time it read, "Don't give up. You're stronger than you think." My heart sank into my stomach. I remember just standing there in my hallway, staring at the paper like it might explain itself. The words didn't feel random. They felt personal. And yet, how could they be? Nobody here knew me. I kept to myself. I worked, I slept, I existed. That was it. By the third night, I'll admit, I was unsettled. Another note. "The world is better with you in it." The handwriting was the same. Uneven, but careful, almost deliberate, as if the writer was fighting to keep their hand steady. That night, I didn't throw the paper away. I tucked it into my desk drawer instead. And then, almost against my will, I started waiting for the next one. I began watching the hallway through my peephole in the evenings. For days, I saw nothing. Empty corridor. The next morning, I gathered my courage and crossed the hall. I knocked softly, half expecting no one to answer. After a long pause, the door creaked open. There he was, thinner up close, skin pale and fragile, eyes cloudy with age, yet still piercingly kind. His hands trembled as he clutched the cane, and his lips quivered like he'd been caught doing something wrong. Before I could even ask, he whispered, almost to himself, "I'm sorry, I thought you were my son." The word son hit me like a freight train. He gestured me inside, his voice shaking as he said, "Please, just for a minute." Something in his face, the grief carved into every wrinkle, pulled me in. The apartment smelled faintly of dust and old paper. It was dim, curtains drawn tight, the kind of place that hadn't felt sunlight in years. Frames covered the walls, shelves, the mantel. Faces smiled out from every photo, though most were faded, decades old. The silence felt heavy, like the rooms themselves were mourning. He shuffled to the mantel, picked up a picture and handed it to me with trembling fingers. I almost dropped it. It was a young man in a crisp military uniform, grinning proudly. And the shock? He looked exactly like me. Same jawline, same hair, same damn eyes staring back at me from decades ago. "That's my boy," the old man said, his voice quivering with a mix of pride and heartbreak. "He promised he'd come home." He swallowed hard, his throat working against the tears. "He never did." My chest tightened painfully. "When you moved in across the hall," he continued, his voice breaking, "I thought maybe God had sent me a chance to say all the things I never got to say. I didn't mean to frighten you, I didn't know what else to do." He turned, shuffling to a small wooden box on the table. He opened it, and inside were hundreds of folded notes, yellowed with age, the ink faded in places. He picked one up and pressed it into my hands. "I was going to give these to him when he came home," he whispered, "but he never made it back." His shoulders sagged, so I kept writing them anyway, every year, every birthday, every Christmas. Every time I wanted to tell him something, I wrote it down instead, but they just sat here rotting away with me. I opened the note he'd given me. The handwriting was younger then, steadier. "You'll do great things. I believe in you." The weight of it crushed me. I hugged him right then, unable to stop myself. He broke down in my arms, sobbing with a rawness that shattered me. "Thank you," he whispered against my shoulder, "for letting me believe, even just for a little while." That night, I went back to my apartment with a stack of his notes. Since then, I've kept every single one he gave me in a drawer by my bed. On nights when the world feels unbearable, when loneliness creeps in, I open them and read. And every time, I swear, I feel his son's ghost sitting beside me. It's like I'm carrying not just my own battles, but a legacy of love, grief, and words that were meant for someone who never came home.